and we are live. Duke escapes from East Lansing, 66-60. What a second half by the Blue Devils, and some clutch shots down the stretch from the free throw line, and most importantly, a very clutch three-pointer by Caleb Foster.
If you're not a Duke fan, after the last two games, then I don't know what team you're watching or in our case rooting for. These games have been, this is like early December. This would be the run for a championship. And it's just phenomenal to watch. And Pops here has to calm down a bit. It's just too exciting.
I couldn't believe for a December game how nervous I was at the start. I was like, it feels like March Madness. I had to remind myself. I was like, if we win or we lose, no matter what, we have another game. It's not the end of the season. But before we break down the game, incredible environment in Michigan State. All 15,000 fans. It was a great road environment. Probably is going to be up there with the best road environments that Duke plays in this year. There are two ACC games in particular that I think are going to be raucous, but we'll get to that at another time. And I thought Duke came out early. It was a bit shaky, but hit some important three-pointers. And early on in the game, Hymenia and Sarr had three three-pointers, two for Hymenia, one for Sarr, which were really important for Duke when early on Cam Boozer couldn't find an opening in the Michigan State defense.
No, and it's funny. Did I not like the announcers? We turned the sound off for a while here. The announcers were just, especially Tim Branda. I couldn't take him. But the idea of even Jimmy Jackson interviewing Cam Boozer at the end of the game and saying it was a tale of two halves for you, and on the other hand, Seth Davis,
he went to Duke,
made a point of saying we may have to redefine what a bad half is in regard to the way that Cam Boozer played, because he had 7 rebounds,
3 assists, couple steals,
block. I mean, no, he didn't score. And then the beginning of the second half, he said, "Give me the ball."
Yeah, and we've seen this from Cam before, right? The Texas game, he didn't end up scoring it as efficiently in that one, but he was struggling from the field that first game of the season and was still rebounding, passing, defending. With Cam, it's not all about the scoring, but this team does need his scoring. Like, if he would have finished the game with 5 points, Duke was not going to win. So at some point he does need to score, but his impact is not – he does a lot more than scoring the ball. And early on, the one thing I picked up on pretty quickly was Duke needed to diversify the offense. Even though Duke was winning through the first 3 segments, it was 19-17. 13 of the first 18 shots for Duke were from 3. And as a result – listen. You're on the road in that environment. You're not going to get many calls, and Duke didn't do themselves any favors by not attacking the rim, and so therefore the foul discrepancy was really big in the first half because Duke just wasn't going at Michigan State, and some of them were good threes. Don't get me wrong, but some of them were settled threes, and we needed to get a little bit more balance. And I felt like towards the end of the first half, and more importantly in the second half, once Cam got going, we were more aggressive going to the rim.
Look, our three-point shooting, except with some exceptions, was abysmal. It was just not good, and we were settling for it. But worse than that was up until the stretch of the game, when you do have to hit your free throws, we were 7 for 14. We were shooting 50% from the free throw line in a 2-point game. And that just can't be. But down the stretch, we made up for it. Pops is happy.
8 for 9 from the free throw line down the stretch. 2 big ones from Cam. 3 huge ones from Isaiah Evans. Isaiah Evans I don't know what it is with him, but until he doesn't make anything, the shots don't look good. We get to a clutch situation late in the game. All of a sudden, he nails his 3-pointer. He gets 3 free throws. He makes all of them. And then Caleb Foster hit his 2 free throws. Where
Caleb.
I look in the Florida game, he had a chance to extend the Duke lead. He missed the front end of the 1-and-1. This game, he had the same opportunity. He makes them both. Incredibly clutch. And then Pat finished it. It didn't really matter, but he was 1 for 2. That's how we get to the 8 for 9. It was interesting because we had a lot of feedback on this one from Michigan State fans, which was awesome. I like bringing, especially we got a lot of respect for Michigan State, for Coach Izzo. It's a great program, and there was a lot of respectful comments. The one thing I really disagreed on, though, was they kept saying they're going to be too physical for Duke. Now, did Duke lose the rebounding battle? We'll get to the stats. I think they did. I don't think it was by a lot. Part of that was because Duke was in foul trouble, had to go to zone for stretches, had to play with only Cam Boozer for stretches. But I thought what really cost us in the first half was letting Jackson Kohler shoot threes from the same spot wide open. It was almost like shooting practice for Kohler. He was getting the same look on just above the break from the corner there, and that gave Michigan State some momentum. And that I think Fears had the assist on at least 2 of those. He didn't make a shot, but he had a big impact in this game. 13 assists, 1 turnover for Jeremy Fears, who did a great job controlling the game for Michigan State until it got to crunch time, and they weren't able to find any separation against a Duke defense, which has been great this whole season, and I think had their best performance of the year.
In the second half, they held Michigan State to 26 points. 26 points. It stifling in terms of that. But part of it is also, I love Jeremy Fears' game, and I thought one of the keys to the game was to not let him control the game. And to one side of the ledger, he had 13 assists with 1 turnover, which is just phenomenal. The other side of the ledger is he shot 0 for 10 for the game, and he's getting wide open looks, and he can't hit the shot. And that is an issue.
I thought coming into the game, the keys for both teams were to try to make the opposing best player do what they didn't necessarily want to do. With Cam Boozer, that was turn him into a passer. And with Jeremy Fears, that was turn him into a scorer. And it's interesting. The first half, now it wasn't perfect either way. The first half, Michigan State was able to turn Cam Boozer into a passer. He had 3 or 4 assists at the half, only the 2 points. And Fears was able to be the passer. He had 8 or 9 assists at the half. And I think he had made 2 or 4 free throws. He obviously didn't make a shot in this one. But the second half limited him to only 4 or 5 assists, which for him is keeping him to his average. But Cam Boozer got going scoring. And that, I felt, was the difference in the second half and why Duke was able to pull away, is that the game plan in terms of making the opposition best player do what they don't want to do necessarily, but they're still capable of, helped Duke in the second half.
He had 14 points in 8 minutes. And it
timely as well.
Timely, and his ability, he was doing it going to the basket, a little bit of his own version of bully ball, but not, he had to be careful about fouls, so he couldn't commit an offensive foul. He stood up for a nice 3, but also the confidence of Coach Shire in down the stretch to say, I don't necessarily need Boozer to score, but the ball is going to go to Boozer to control it in the final seconds of the game at the top of the key, and then trust his teammates.
All right, I got to get off a couple of shots here because we're 10 games in now. There's two people or 2 organizations that this is coming at. Number 1, New York Times. New York Times had their 7 best players of college basketball coming into the season. Cam Boozer wasn't one of the 7. Absolutely ridiculous. He's the best player in college basketball, at least through the first 10 games. Number 2, the ACC, I don't know, whoever does the preseason voting, where they gave Darian Williams the preseason player of the year. I don't know what these people are looking at. I don't know what they've been paying attention to, but I hope now they've realized Cam Boozer is the best player in college basketball. Anything to add?
Pops doesn't have much to add to that one.
All right.
Cam Boozer's the best player in college basketball.
I thought when I say timely, like I'm thinking of Michigan State. They went on a run, mini run. There weren't big runs in this game. There was so low scoring. A 5-point run was a big run. So they had stretched it to 45-40. Duke calls timeout. After the timeout, Cam Boozer gets a 2 in the paint, and then he has a one dribble pull up from NBA range 3-pointer and drills it to tie the game again. And then I think Gangba ends up with free throws after that, and it's a Michigan State timeout, or we went to an like a TV timeout. And timely shots throughout this game. I thought the first half, for large stretches until the end, a lot of really like gritty, tough, what I like to call like response buckets, where Michigan State would score, Duke would hit a 3.
In the first half, especially.
Yeah, it was just constant. Like it was, Sarr had one, Hemenia had one, Darren Harris hit a big 3.
Big 3.
There was contributions from everybody in this game. Caden Boozer came in, had a nice alley-oop to Malik Brown. It was, all 9 guys. I know we quibbled a little bit about whether it was an 8 or a 9-man rotation beforehand, but all 9 guys contributed to the win, which is just great for a road win against a top 10 opponent that was undefeated coming into this one.
One of the key things for me is I was just looking here. So like from the 11:42 point in the second half, when it was a 2-point game at that point, maybe a little earlier even, the spread of the game until you get to 58 seconds is no more than 2 points. And when Evans gets fouled.
Yeah, that gave us a little cushion.
And he got 3 shots there. And I know someone's going to say he wasn't fouled. He was hit by 3 guys on that play. And, it's like not only he got 3 shots because he was hit by 3 different guys. and he goes to the line and they flash, that he's in 86%. I said, all right, just need to hit 1.
2.
Like 2. 1, 2, 3. And he's just as cool as could be. Down the stretch. Slim, quick draw, as I like to call it, just the moment doesn't faze him.
No, and before we get to the stats, then the medals and the chat, we got to close with Caleb Foster, who had a tremendous game throughout. We're going to get to everybody in a minute. Actually, I'm going to reverse the order. I'm going to do the medals, then the stats, because I may as well. He's the gold medal. He's the gold medal in this game. Caleb Foster, shout out to Laura, who said very early on, I think the second exhibition, give Foster time. The guy has been getting better and better throughout the season. Incredibly clutch 3. We got, thank the basketball gods, got a couple of good bounces on the rim there. But it went in, and listen, it's a make or miss game, and it went in. And then he knocked down both free throws. Again, got to bring that up again. It was incredibly clutch. He played good defense. He had some big rebounds. He only had 1 turnover. Tremendous game from him. The silver medal is Cam Boozer, who on any normal team that'd be a gold medal. He's just graded differently. If he would have had 30 points and 20 rebounds, I would have had to give it to him. But he had 18 points and 15 rebounds and 5 assists, 2 steals and a block. And then the bronze medal in this one, Nicholas Hemenia. I wasn't sure. I was a little nervous if he was going to play. Like Duke Mafia, the Duke Kremlin, as you like to say. Were we going to find out, as this one was tipping off, that his ankle, they're going to hold him out, precautionary reasons. Not only does he play, he starts off with hitting a 3. It was his first points for Duke in this one. He had 9 points at the half. He finished with 10. But more importantly, in a game in which rebounding was essential, he had 9 rebounds.
All of our big guys were in foul trouble with a lot of time left in the game, and his ability to help us out on the boards was just, you know, contributions from everywhere in a game in which we score 66 points.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. All right, let's look at the stats. All right, so Cam mentioned his line. Was pretty efficient overall. 7 of 13 from the field, about 50% there. Hold on, slide in a little bit. Slide in. Yeah, so not crooked this way. Yeah, if you can. All right. So 1 for 3 from 3, but the one was a big one. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Gangba, I thought he had a good game. Gangba, he's gonna be sore tomorrow. He got undercut bad by Fears one time, and then at the end of the game he got undercut again. I do feel bad for him. He had 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 for 8 from the free throw line is very unlike him.
Yeah, and it happened after he.
Good point.
Fears. It was certainly not a dirty play. He got underneath him, and then the part that I always keep pointing out on that play is then the other big guy fell on top of him. So he was just writhing on the floor in pain.
It's a good point because now that I think about it, when he went 1 for 2 was after he got undercut the second time. And so when you combine, he's 1 for 4, he's 3 for 4 in the other opportunities, which is much more like Gangba. Hamenia, 34 minutes, tied for the most with Cam Boozer. 10 points, 3 of 6 from 3, 9 rebounds, 1 steal. 3 offensive rebounds for Hamenia. Should mention Cam Boozer had 4 offensive rebounds, which was really important in this one. Evans had 9 points. I didn't think he played great, but he was really clutch down the stretch. 3 rebounds. Caleb Foster, I need you to take over. I'm losing my voice here. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover. And I finish with this. 1 huge block. He blocked Cohen Carr, the guy with the 51-inch vertical. That was insane. Our point guard blocked Cohen Carr. That was incredible.
I'll finish off the stats. Malik did not have a Malik-type game, and but he was in foul trouble. He had 14 minutes, 2 points, and really 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers. It was not his best game. Dame Sarr played 20 minutes, and that early 3, but that after that he had 1 point and not really much in the stats. Caden Boozer, 12 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field, and again 2 assists. And Darren Harris played 4 minutes, but had a really clutch 3-pointer. And so, but I that I always harp on this, Jack. As a team, they shot 65% from the free throw line, and yes, they hit it when it mattered, when they went 8 for 9 down the stretch. But to shoot 65% in a game like this could have been the difference.
Yeah, and agreed. We got to clean that up. We've got a little bit of off time this month. Got to have the guys in the gym shooting free throws. This has been our big bugaboo, and it could cost us as one of these games. Now, I thought it was important coming into this one. Offensive rebounding, the rebounding battle in general. We actually ended up out-rebounding them by 1. They had 3 more offensive rebounds than we did, but that's also in part because they shot the ball. I mean, we didn't shoot it great. We were 38%. They were at 33%, so there were just a little bit more opportunities for them. Turnovers, they did a great job, and that's Jeremy Fears because he's got the ball the whole game. They only had 5 as a team. We had 8.
Wow.
In the 3-point shooting, we finished at 31%. It was uglier than that. We started off really strong, really cooled off, and then hit a couple late. Evans 3 and the Foster 3, which were really important. All right. Let's go to the chat. Wow. Awesome, awesome. We've got a lot of you guys in here. This is awesome. This is our best show of the season. We really appreciate that. Should have said this a while ago, but please subscribe. We're on our road to 2100. We were just shy of 2040 before we started this. So like this video, leave your comments in the chat. We're going to get to everybody. ACBC, what's going on?
Yeah, it's early. I can stay up late, so we're going to absolutely get to everybody here.
Thank you. I might need you to read something. I'm losing my voice here.
Okay.
But I'm good for right now. Thank you, Caleb Foster, MVP. Yep, gold medal. Shire, Trust, Foster, Evans, Nick, Pat, and Cam down the stretch. Yeah, Nick has been, you could see it building. The Florida game was a little bit of a step back, but that's because of the injury, I thought, more than anything. The Arkansas game, we saw it. And today, he is really taking major strides forward these past few games. What a statement win. Wow, what happened to Purdue? All these blowout losses happening in college basketball. Gonzaga a week ago, Kentucky yesterday, Purdue today. Insane. Yeah, I mean, Purdue, Iowa State, they're going to move up from 10 to 6 or so. Well, maybe 5. They may surpass Purdue, depending on how that goes. But yeah, a lot of blowout losses. Kentucky, not my favorite fan base, but, rough times in Lexington right now. Start with NCCU.
Big time cojones down the stretch by Foster. Completely agree. ABC / what?
Go to Laura. We got him.
Okay, Laura. Let's go Duke. Every pick I heard favored Michigan State over Duke on other podcasts, including me. I listened to and only heard one pick Duke. And
oh, hold on. We'll finish Laura's point here. The one who picked Duke was surprisingly Tyler Hansbrough, who is obviously a big time. But listen, he is one of the great North Carolina players. We can give him his due for that. That is surprising. I'm surprised so few people picked Duke. I thought this was a coin flip coming into this one. It was interesting. In ESPN's stats, they had Duke as a 69% favorite to win this one.
Really?
Yeah. But the betting odds were a pick 'em. I picked Duke in this one, But listen, we don't get them all right. And you'll get the next one. That's all right. We've got Lipscomb coming up. I think you'll get that one. Joe M., what's going on? What a stressful game.
Jack and I looked at the clock and said, it's only 2:30. I said, we got 12 hours, got 10 hours left in this game. And, we're a Buckeye family, and we've got the, Ohio State, Indiana game, which is just going to add more stress. So I'm sleeping late tomorrow.
We gave them points early with really bad turnovers and transition defense. Good points, Joe. Good points. Huge show by Foster late game. Good adjustments by Shire, too. Yeah, agreed. GVB 8875. Largest lead of the game was the final score. Great point. This was, talk about a stressful game. It was a 1 or 2 possession game the entire game. Literally the entire game, because even the 6-point lead, still 2 possessions. What a great game in December. It totally lived up to the billing of 2 top 10 teams. I think they're top 5 teams. Joe M., the fuck Cam Boozer chants are pretty funny when Fierce couldn't make a field goal. I don't know if we missed those because we had the volume off for large stretches because couldn't listen to, what was his name?
Tim Brando. Couldn't listen to this guy.
At the start of the game, I was like, listen, all I want the play-by-play guy to do is call the game, be excited for both teams. It was very obvious who he wanted to win this game. And I'll leave it at that. What did he start with? It was 5-2 Duke at the end of the first segment, and he said, Duke's really struggling from the field. I was like, aren't both teams struggling from the field? Like, it was a rough stretch for both teams, but all right. ACBC says those chants were awful. Also, the Field of 68 said Michigan State was the first true road game for Duke. Not true. And Tim Brando said the same thing. We know because we were at the Army game. This was not the first true road game. Now this was the toughest road game. No doubt about that. William Salyer, what's going on? This is Shire's first team that is strong at the end. I mean, strong in the beginning of the season is a real positive step forward. ACBC, we beat Tennessee at Tennessee. That's a great point. We didn't bring that up yet. That exhibition schedule by John Shire and the fact we won that game I think has been really instrumental at the start of the season. That we went on the road and played a really tough physical Tennessee team in a tough environment in Knoxville. I think that's been really beneficial for the start of the season. Joe M, yep, agreed. Yeah, I guess 12-0 if you include the exhibition games, but I won't do that because that gives Kentucky a win, so we can't do that. We can't include them. We'd be 4-0 against the SEC with the exhibition games, 2-0 against Big 12. William Salyer says, "I bet the fans near Carlos didn't say that chant." I would not be saying that. That's a great point. I would. Carlos Boozer is way too big of a man to be saying that around him. So yeah, but I'm sure he got the last laugh.
And then Joe M responds, "Laughed my ass off to that." I mean, that was just yes. I wouldn't risk that chant around him. All right, Laura. Why did it take almost the whole game for any of the announcers to bring up that Duke played an exhibition game against Tennessee? I know it doesn't count in the regular season record. As the earlier comment said, 4-0 against the SEC if we include the exhibitions.
Well, but I think to Laura's point, I think the announcers were pro Big Ten at the very least. They do. Jimmy Jackson does
Ohio
big.
State.
He's Ohio State guy. He does Big Ten games. They're more familiar with Michigan State for sure. I think that was part of it. But yeah, Brando was talking about Coach K.
I believe he's been gone. This is his fourth year, Shire.
Yeah, the first time in the Shire era when Caleb Foster, by the way, had a really big game, his best game until the Arkansas game in a Duke uniform was against Michigan State. And that game, you could have brought up Coach K. I think, we love Coach K, but we've moved past it at this point. Let's see. Joe M, 2 really bad shots by Pat in the game. I thought he had one, which was the 3 I didn't love. But I thought the other one, which I think is what you're alluding to, Joe, was late in the shot clock. I think he had to take it, the mid-range one. I think that's what you're talking about.
I think in a 66-60 game that is a 2-point game throughout, there are just going to be bad shots. We had bad possessions that we pointed out where 30 seconds go by and
shot clock violations.
Yeah, or we get close and then we put up a bad shot. So
yeah. William Salyer, poised and strong at the end in the clutch, 100%. Credit Caleb Foster and Cam Boozer did a really good job of. Listen, there were times, as we just mentioned throughout the game, shot clock violations, bad shots at the end of the shot clock. We had one even. Just before the 3-minute mark, we couldn't get off a shot, or a good shot at the very least. But down the stretch, we got to the free throw line. We got threes. We did a really good job late in the game. ACBC need to take care of Texas Tech at MSG. That would put us at 6 of 6. We're now 5 for 5 of these tough non-conference games. So it would be a big one. We got 10 days off now before we play Lipscomb, and then we play Texas Tech, and then another 10 days off. So we've got a lot of momentum. Hopefully we can maintain it as we don't have games over this next stretch. Let's see. William Salyer. When they went to zone, it changed the whole game.
I do love when Shire throws the zone. He does it on a very limited basis, but it becomes one of his things. I mean, he had to. I mean, we had too many big guys in foul trouble.
Yes.
So he had to go to the zone. But I love when he just throws it in there. It changes the way that the offense looks at the court. And I think they were very good decisions by Coach Shire.
The guy, not by us, not by us in the chat, not by us two here. He doesn't get enough credit for how good of a coach he is. A lot of people just say he's got the best players. It's a much more than that for this guy. He's done, really good job throughout the past couple of years, especially making adjustments at halftime. He routinely draws up really good out of timeout plays to get easy shots. He's just a really good coach. And then to your point, he mixes in the defense. This guy has decided defense is where he's going to hang his hat on, which is funny because when I remember him as a player, I think of him offensively. But he has built a defensive program, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. Joe M., I very much didn't like the announcers either. We're right there with you, Joe.
Completely. Turn the sound off.
Yeah,
Just turn
we
it off.
did turn the sound off. Tyler Keller, what's going on? Hamenia did okay. I have to disagree with you. I thought Hamenia did awesome. I thought he was fantastic in this game.
Well, he might mean did okay in a positive way, but let's see
Okay,
what else
all
Tyler
right.
Keller throws in the chat.
Fair enough. Laura Markle, this is why Shire scheduled the game at Tennessee as a road game to prepare for games like today. 100%. Joe M., Foster's defense locking down Fears was amazing. 0 for 10, Jeremy Fears. 0 for 10. Now, did he get a bunch of assists? Yeah. And some of that was his ability to penetrate, but Foster's defense has been outstanding this whole year. William Sallier, Showtime. Who is the man on press row that said something bad to Izzo? No idea.
Didn't
I
catch
didn't even,
it.
yeah.
Didn't catch it.
Okay, I didn't catch it either. Joe M., within the first 2 minutes, Boozer was guarding on the perimeter and Foster was defending inside. Boozer then tried randomly switching back and looked away from the defender, which led to an open shot by Michigan State, but thankfully their player missed. I think it was, let me see, Kurt Tang had a number of open shots early and he couldn't connect on anything. That could have changed the start of this game, but that's been the problem for Michigan State all year. Coach Izzo's called it out. They haven't gotten shooting from their shooting guards, and those are the guys we wanted to shoot in terms of a game plan. Boozer's had some rough moments at starts of games. Defensively, offensively, I don't know what it is. He's got to it's almost like he needs to get hit and wake up. I don't know what it is, but then once he wakes up, he's the best player in college basketball. For the first few minutes, he's just a good player, but then he becomes the best. Laura Markle, we have officially held 10 teams in a row to below scoring average per game. That's a great stat, Laura. It's a great stat.
Great stat.
Archangel, what's going on? Sar is finally making his 3-point shots. And Nick, finally, when Sar used to go for 3, my heart was like, oh no.
Who is our favorite player that we nicknamed Oh No?
Quinn Cook.
Yeah, because the ball would be released, and then Quinn Cook turned into a very clutch player.
A very clutch player his senior year. William Sallier. Yeah, glad Nick and Dame got to play. Wes and Susan, what's going on? Cam Boozer is the beast of the East. I like that. Great coaching, John going to zone.
Yep.
Laura says, I will be at the Lipscomb game on Tuesday, December 16th. Awesome. Good for you. That's exciting. That's going to be a fun one to be at. Should be a blowout. Much less stressful than this one, I'll say that. Lawrence Freeman. That was the game they were supposed to lose. So excited to see them mature this season.
The maturation of Caleb Foster and of Patrick Gamba. You know, 2 guys from last year stepping up a level. And it's just, it's really fun to watch them. And a shout out to Laura for sort of saying to both Jack and Pops here, give Foster some time. And she's, been right ever since.
Yeah. Wes and Susan, Foster knocked down the 2 free throws. Great job, C. Foss. Jeremy Farrell, go Duke. Joe M. Glad this team was able to play a tough game in foul trouble, too. Yes.
We made a point of that early on, that there was going to be other games in which
Yeah.
we were going to be in foul trouble. And so there's a great combination of the substitutions by Shire in order to protect them, the use of the zone in order to protect them, and then just very, very good defense to keep themselves in the game. I mean, yes, Cam Boozer fouled out, but with how many seconds left?
50, 40, 10. I've lost track of time. Yeah, I mean, Cam fouled out. Hit two of the last three fouls where there wasn't much. The one on the free throw line, the last two fouls, and then the one where he got called for it. I thought he was pretty much up and down, but the one where he cost himself was the hack on Jackson Kohler. That was his bad foul. And if he didn't have that one, he would have been in a better spot, but it didn't end up mattering. Let's see. Lawrence Freeman, that 3-2 zone is a good change of pace. Good point, Lawrence. It really helped us in this one. Laura Markle says, Ken Palm needs to throw out his analytics. He said Duke would lose this game. I think they only have us as an underdog, only had us, I should say, as an underdog in 3 games, or 2 more games, I should say, moving on, which would be at Louisville and the neutral site game with Michigan. And that's it. All the other ones were favored in. Just lost where we were here. All right. Joe M, hit that like, everyone. Appreciate that, Joe. Subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments in the chat. We are growing. We are going to continue to grow. We're going to have some fun shows, I think, next week. We're going to be looking at the team as we're 10 games in. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be dropping those throughout the week next week. Maybe even have some guests, some other Duke content creators. Laura Markle, I usually watch Foster a lot on defense. Even in games he's not scoring, he's locked in on defense a lot of the time. His defense, it started, I thought he was a good defender. I thought he became a great defender towards the end of last season. And the thing, like I remember the North Carolina game where I thought he changed the game with his defense on North Carolina's smaller, quicker guards. The thing that's really impressed me this year has been his rebounding. He has been flying in to grab rebounds left and right. All right, get the next one. I'm losing my voice here bad. Try to pronounce that name there.
Arya Korpati? Sorry. If Darren can get his shooting confidence up, I think we can be a high-level contributor. He can be a high-level contributor. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. If he's good for that quick burst of 2 threes in a row, and you've got 6 points in less than a minute, and that would be great. Laura, what is crazy is how both teams were so close in every stat. Absolutely. It was just a defensive struggle, which I guess brings the shooting percentages down.
Oh, yeah. 2 of the top 5 defenses.
Raymond Thompson, let's go Duke, wahoo, completely. ABC / Duke shut down fears like how Duke shut down Sears.
Good one. That's
nice one. Nice one. Wes and Susan, this team is showing and learning to play through a tough game, though the tough environment I'm liking through the tough environment. That's what I'm liking to watch it completely. This is absolutely putting them in March Madness settings. This is what you want the team to do now. And very smart scheduling, very good coaching, and just an incredible outcome. You ready?
Nick, 3 for 6 is pretty good from the 3-point line. Yeah, that guy's a shooter. I really like his progression throughout the year. William Salyer, yep, that's got to improve. I'm guessing that's to the Darren Harris confidence, but I'm not sure what that was about. ACBC, how many lives do we have left? We've certainly lost 2 lives the last couple games. Certainly the Florida one cost us 1 for sure. William Salyer, I figured it would go their way simply because of the local. Yeah. Techman Dave, what's going on? This team closes last year. We couldn't do that. We don't look pretty, but they close better. I like that. Agreed. William Salyer, hey, they have been soft prior to this year. I think there's been times we haven't closed strong. I think there, especially the first year plus, there were moments where Duke was soft in the Shire era. I thought last year, I wouldn't say last year's team was soft, though. I wouldn't say that. But I understand your point. I understand where you're coming from. G-Mad. It was very obvious who the refs wanted to win the game, too. Any other court, we'd have beaten them by 15 points or more. Their offense was pretty anemic, but free throws, we have to make free throws. If State hadn't missed some free throws, too, we might have been in trouble at the end with the calls going against us like that. The free throws, I know you talked about quite a bit. We completely agree on that. On the calls, what I will say is in college basketball, if you're on the road, you're not going to get calls. That's just how it is. So you got to be able to play through it, and Duke was able to do that. I almost said tonight, but it's still only 3 o'clock. It feels like 10 o'clock. I don't know. It's just, I guess, what we're used to.
There's GVB. Assuming Duke beats Lipscomb, that will be win 100 for Shire. Great point. It's incredible how fast he's gotten there in taking over from Coach K. William Salyer, I was a student in Cameron before there were crazies. Oh, wow. We had some nasty insulting chants for sure. Oh, that's very cool. That's very, very cool. Love to hear more about that. Remember that game where they caught Kay looking at his watch? The announcer said, might be past his bedtime. Yeah, there were we could go through all of our favorite Coach K moments. You know, we always used to laugh when he took his coat off. That meant all of a sudden he was taking his coaching to another level. And then Joe M., the mid-range, I didn't realize how late that shot was.
Yeah, that he's talking about the 2 shots he mentioned from Gangba that he didn't think were good, and I thought that's what Joe was talking about. That was, it was late shot clock. He had to shoot it. It was ugly, but he had to shoot it. Michigan State did a good job defensively making us work late into the shot clock, and as a result, we had some bad shots. Blue Devil, shout out Caleb Foster and Joe M. to continue that thread. Foster is now 2-0 against Michigan State, and both times played
showed up.
Absolutely incredible. 2 of the last, he didn't play bad in the Florida game, but 2 of the last 3 games he's been absolutely excellent. William Salyer gave me some kudos for pronouncing your name. Appreciate that. People have some difficulties with our last name, so always try to get it right. If we mispronounce your name, let us know in the comments. We will try to correct it. Jasmine Gotti, appreciate you. Hey, go Duke. What do you think about the crowd chants toward Cam Boozer? I just lost where we were. Okay. We unfortunately missed it because we didn't want to listen to the announcers. But it's a bit low. I got a lot of respect for Michigan State and their program. You don't need to do that. And I think it was William who said it before. I'm sure they weren't chanting that. The guys around Carlos were just kind of looking around, keeping their arms crossed, but weren't saying much at that time. But it's college basketball. They're college kids. They've had a few beverages. They're having a good time. I'm not going to get worked up over it. ACBC, imagine when our team peaks. It's a good point. Coach Shire said after the Florida game, we haven't put together a complete 40 minutes. I think it's kind of wild. I think you could make the argument that Cam Boozer, despite being the best player in college basketball, hasn't had a complete 40 minutes.
No, absolutely not. And if anyone is on and has had an opportunity to watch Coach Shire's post-game, please let us know what he said, his first comments in the chat.
ACBC. Swisher, what's going on, man? Let's go Duke. We are still a young team, but if this team figures out the offense and we shoot the three better, this team has an extremely high ceiling. And I said I wanted to see what happened in this game in terms of saying what I thought the ceiling of this team was. This is a Final Four team, no doubt in my mind. They're beating this Michigan State team at Michigan State. They are a national title contender. Now, could they lose a couple of games? They're gonna lose a couple of games, no doubt about it. But this was a huge win, a really gritty win.
It's one of the reasons that I got it wrong. I just figured we had to lose somewhere, and I thought this was a good one to pick for a loss, given the atmosphere, given the record of both teams. But happy to be wrong.
Yeah. And let me see. And I'm gonna pick a couple moving forward that I think we're not gonna win. But it wasn't gonna be this one for me. I thought we had the tools to beat this Michigan State team. And let me see here. So ACBC, we would be really awesome. Agreed. TB 5589. Let's go Duke. Everyone keeps saying, Laura Markle, sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying Shire doesn't have a national championship. He has one as a player and one as an assistant with Duke, just not as a head coach yet. There's a lot of hate for John Shire, and I don't understand it. He's a very likable person. He's very respectful. He's a great coach. It's just a tremendous transition from Coach K to John Shire.
Let's face it, rooting for Duke sometimes is hard because it's not just John Shire that people hate. It's Duke as a program they hate. And, it comes with the territory of being, rabid Duke fans. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You love us or you hate us, but you're not in between. Swisher, I knew there were not going to be 70 points in this one. Yeah, you and I agreed on that one. That was one thing I disagreed with you on, my friend here, is, I thought Michigan State could win, but I didn't think it'd be a high-scoring game. And what do you have?
I had this at 82. Wow. 82-77.
I had us at
completely wrong.
Yeah. I had us at 73-71. That was still too many points. So, yeah, good point, Swisher. Continues. I felt like it was the strategy to have Boozer shoot only 3 shots in the first half. I don't know. Maybe, are you saying for Michigan State? I could see that if that was their plan, but I don't think that was Duke's plan at the very least.
We would have preferred to have had an offensive performance from him in the first half.
Yeah. It wasn't an actual foul.
Yep.
Yeah, but he did put himself in that situation with his third foul for sure. Swisher, both teams are top 5 in defense. Can't expect lights out shooting. Agreed.
Yep.
Duke Hoops, TB. Appreciate that. That's talking ball for you. How about the foul when Gongbo was held in an arm lock, then he finally broke 3, and they called him for his foul? Yeah, I mean,
horrible call.
He had a couple of tough ones on him in this one for sure. Duke Hoops. Cam finished the game 7 of 13 after a 1-for-4 opening half. That's a great point. So what does that mean? He was 6 of 9 in the second half. He's just an incredible player. Swisher, Purdue getting blown out at home will put Duke to 1 or 2 in the polls, I bet. I would think 2.
Yeah, I think if Arizona wins,
maybe 3.
There is still that prejudice to Arizona over Duke, and then not just it would be Michigan.
Yeah, that's why I said 3. I think Arizona would be 1.
Certainly
Michigan
move
2.
up one slot.
Yeah, and Duke will be 3. I think Iowa State is going to be in the top 5. I think they'll be 5. I think UConn will be 4. We'll cover this all on the Monday show. That's our college basketball show. Make sure to check that out. Shameless plug there. Timothy Bullock, I'd like to see Shire recruit some high-level point guards. I mean, Caden Boozer is a high-level point guard. He's just a freshman, and he's not built like his brother. It's going to take him some time. But I thought, compared to the last 2 games, I thought he had better moments in this one. He didn't hit the threes. That's his one. It's the one thing he wasn't great at in high school. He's going to need to hit some to really get some more playing time, quite frankly. William Salyer, free throw percentage is what has to improve. Okay, I see. Yeah, I completely agree. And he didn't mean last year, but the 2 prior. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you guys remember this game. There was a game. I think it was in the first Shire year. Maybe it was in the second, but one of the 2. We were playing NC State, and it was like 12-0 after the first TV timeout, and we didn't score until almost the second TV timeout. It was brutal. There were some brutal games to watch. Even in year 2, when we made it to the Elite 8, and it was a pretty surprising run to the Elite 8, we beat Houston. Houston, obviously, Jamal Shed got hurt. That had an impact in the game. But even that year, when we lost to NC State in the ACC tournament, that was a really rough loss. And then obviously we lost them again in the Elite 8. So yeah, there were some soft moments in the first 2 years, but Shire clearly changed his recruiting style to adjust for that. Techman Dave Foster is a high-level guard. Yeah, I agree. We're just not getting. I don't know. Foster's a high-level guard. I'm not even going to continue with. I don't even know what jumble I was going to say there. ACBC. I'm always impressed at how we're winning all these games without a mid-range game. Yeah, but, analytics, there's not, teams don't really want to take those shots. So.
I love the comment because I think we can add it. It's Pat should be able to have it.
He had 1 in this game.
Yeah, but there should be guys that are shuffling into around the foul line, maybe a foot in, that should be able to hit the 2. And in a game that's played in the 60s, that matters.
2 games. Jeremy Farrell. 2 games have been real close, but Duke getting better and better. Yeah. Laura says, I had the sound on. I didn't hear it. Okay. All right, so we're not the only ones. Swisher says, I think you can tell they have been working with Sar and Nick.
Yeah, that was the comment that Shire made in the postgame when he said, I'm not doing enough to help Sar and Nick.
Yep. And I know you said before, like, Sar didn't have a great offensive game. The layup was, it did everything but go in. There was a late shot clock, drive where we're like, what are we going to do? He almost gets that to fall. And then I want to say, though, I thought his defense was really good. I thought his defense was really good in this one. Duke Hoops. This channel's fucking going places. Love the insight always. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
We're trying. Joe M. Does Duke's preseason hopes change after this game for either of you guys? Just answered. Never mind. Yeah, I was thinking of your question from before, Joe, when I was talking about that. So I appreciate the question. Let's see.
To be specific, I've gone from a Sweet 16 to an Elite 8 to saying, depending on the draw, Final Four.
I don't even say depending. This is a Final Four team. Listen, John Shire's taking us one step further each year. We're gonna do it again. I got a lot of faith in that man. Laura asks, who is your pick between Virginia versus Duke tonight in the ACC championship game? I'm going with Duke. How many college football games have I watched this year? Don't ask me to answer that question. I'm going with Duke, though. Joe M. I do think we lose some ACC games at UNC or Louisville. We might drop one at either of the California schools too. Yeah, I'll just say it right now. I was alluding to it before. Those are the two games I think we drop in ACC, and then I think there will be one more as well that we don't think we're necessarily going to lose, but the ACC is much better, and we're just going to catch a team on their night where it's not our night. That's college basketball. ACBC. Izzo says we played the best team we've played with the best player we've played against Duke and Cam Boozer. And the only thing I'm going to say about that, appreciate you letting us know that, ACBC. That's a cool comment. And it's a great juxtaposition between him and the last coach we played against. It just shows the character difference between those two guys. There's a big gap between the character of those two coaches.
Well, and Izzo made a point of saying that we are undefeated, but I don't know who we've beaten.
And look, he said that. I think after today, I almost said tonight again. This Michigan State team is legit.
They are.
They're really good. Now, the three-point shooting is a concern for them, but for them, I don't know if we've got any Michigan State fans here, but if we do, I think you have something with Jordan Scott. That guy played really well in this game, knocked down a couple of threes, lanky defender. I think he's your fifth starter, and that could change the way the season goes moving forward for them. Laura Markle, after the announcers said the first to 80 would win, I said it would be the first to 60. I don't know why anybody thought it would be 80 points in this one. I don't know anybody, though, who said that. Swisher. I think it threw them off by him shooting only 3 in the first half is why I thought it was a strategy. Maybe.
Okay.
ACBC. Izzo asked about positives from MSU's home loss to Duke. We went toe-to-toe with one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the country. Yeah.
He's right.
And then he continues. Tom Izzo said Doug Wojcik, that one I could have butchered for sure, said what he was most impressed about Cam Boozer is that he's not going to beat himself. I have enjoyed watching him at Duke as anyone I've seen at Duke, and I've seen a lot of good ones. And then Izzo said give them credit. They went zone, and we didn't make plays. I just didn't think we did the things we've worked on against the zone. I mean, really complimentary things from Izzo. He said a lot of very complimentary things about Cam Boozer. He said something similar in his pre-game question scrum, whatever you want to call that. He's a great coach, and they've got a great program, and this was an awesome win for Duke. Swisher asks, would you rather have Foster and Caden stay instead of landing Jordan Smith Jr. or Deron Rippey? It's a great question. At this point, I'd love to have Caleb Foster for a senior season, and I'd love to have Caden back. And I get your point. And I think that's why Jordan Smith hasn't committed, even though he's in the sixth pipeline, is that he's looking at this situation and saying, I don't know how much playing time I'm going to get if those two guys are back. So I'd love to have Foster, Caden, and Jordan Smith, but I think it's going to be an or situation. Joe M. couldn't lock down DJ Burns for some reason. DJ Burns was so much fun to watch. Can't even be mad. 100% agree with you, Joe. He was so much fun. It was like almost, I don't even know what the word would be, but when he was always smiling. He was a great guy, and he was like 300 pounds. We just had nobody to guard him.
Impossible matchup. Just an impossible matchup with one of the, I'm not going to make the comparison to Zion. They're completely different players, except for one thing. He did have the ability at the end of his shot to let it go softly off his hand after being explosive. And that was one of the many things that made Zion great at Duke.
Yeah, and then DJ was also a great passer. I was like, what do? You can't double him because he was a problem in that, 10-game stretch for NC State. Even as a Duke fan, it was fun. It was fun to watch, except for when it was against us, the two of the 10 games, whatever it was, 9 games. Swisher, Proctor was the midi man. He sure was. He sure was. It's the one thing we're missing is a guy who can create their shot off the dribble. We haven't quite found that answer this year. Foster's had some moments where he can create for himself, and that's the one thing where we could have some difficulties. GMAD, Caden is young. Give him some time, and he should have a higher ceiling. Caleb is a great defender, but has hit his ceiling elsewhere and is too often a liability late game. Turnovers, missed free throws. I'll let you answer that.
I think obviously it's a legitimate observation of his game to date with Duke. I still think there's the possibility of his brother unlocking some of the chemistry they've had their whole life and bringing Caden up to a different level.
And on Foster, I don't know if he's hit his ceiling. I think he's been getting better and better, and his confidence, like he came into Duke in his freshman year, he shot 40% from 3 with a high reputation as a shooter. I think he's shooting the ball better. He's got to be above 40% still from 3. Clutch free throws down the stretch. I think, I don't know. I think there's more to Foster, but he's an awesome defender, and that is what's most important about his game. ACBC, yes, agreed. Best Duke basketball channel. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Joe M., I do think Sar and Nick, more shots helps them with their offense. It seems they weren't getting a lot of looks earlier this year. Yeah, that's a good point. It just gives them more confidence, more cohesion, just more flow within the game. They get more reps. I think that helps a lot. Swisher says, title team, Cal is doing really good. Yeah, Cal is doing really good. They had wins over UCLA, and I forgot their other win, but it was another high major opponent. I want to say Power 5, but we're not really Power 5 anymore. There's too much conference switching. It's hard to keep track. GMAT, it was good to see Himenia and Sar hit some 3-pointers in this game. Agreed. If Caden develops this season, though, Caden Caleb could be a great combo. I think they can. If Caden hits more threes and plays better defense, they can play together at times as well. So they're fun. And I think Caden will come around. I think we're small positives from him in this one for sure. You mentioned the chemistry between the Boozers. There's a nice fast break where they both passed it to each other. That was great. Swisher, Burns was a football player in the wrong sport. I mean, yeah, the guy's a load. The only time he had a size disadvantage was when he went up against Zach Edey in the Final Four game with Purdue. Jeremy Farrell, Duke is going to beat UNC. Go Duke. I like this Duke talk. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Laura Markle, Tom Izzo may be a great coach, but he still has a losing record against Duke. Sure does. Sure does.
It's a horrible record.
William Salyer, we would be chanting, "Go to hell, Carolina," before they even hit the floor. I mean, that's not bad in comparison. It's the team. I think it's not bad. That's not too bad.
Well, and also the Duke UNC rivalry is going to bring out the best and the worst.
Yeah. But it's the fun of college basketball.
There have been entire books written about the Duke UNC rivalry that are great, that talk about it throughout the years.
Swisher, I mean we're not too far away, I guess, anymore, but may as well. Let's talk some North Carolina. Stop Wilson and Vasar, and maybe even Dixon, but UNC beat Kentucky at Rupp by 2 points. Beating Kentucky is like beating an unranked team that happens to be ranked for some reason. Tom Izzo even threw a shot at Kentucky. He said, yeah, we beat Kentucky, but they're really struggling. I don't know how good they are.
You won't get any argument from us. We are not Kentucky fans here.
No, definitely not. Especially for me after the coaching switch.
And for me, it was before when Calipari was there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we flip-flopped
really
on that one. Yeah.
But it goes all the way back. Sorry to Adolph Rupp. I mean, they're just never going to find something good to say about Kentucky.
But to your point, Swisher, yeah, I mean, stopping Wilson and Vasar, they're their two best players. I like Dixon. I think he's a good player. I think he's been better. I think he's got more potential than Kyan Evans. When Trimble comes back, that's going to be a big help for them. Bogovats, that guy creates separation with his three. He's not really hitting them at a high percentage, but, I mean, would it be surprising if in the Duke game he hits a bunch of threes, especially the home one? Not necessarily. But the Caleb Wilson Cam Boozer matchup, I mean, boy, that is primetime television. And then Vasar versus Gangba, yeah, that's some good stuff. We're a couple months away, but that's going to be a lot of fun. Duke Hoops, props to you guys for reading every comment as well as our names. Really makes the audience feel connected. Appreciate that comment. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a Duke basketball community here. So that means a lot. That means a lot. Tyler Keller. Foster needs shoot better, but think he playing solid overall.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and he shot pretty well in this one, but he needs to shoot better from the free throw line. I believe that's what you're alluding to, and he sure does. But in this one, he hit the big ones, and that's all that matters today. William Salyer, another one. If you can't go to college, go to state. That's just funny. That's funny. I like that. And then Joe M. I hate how they picked up Vasar. He was playing well against us when we played Arizona last year. Yeah, he had in the Sweet 16 game, he played really well. He's going to go off against us. Yeah, it just feels like last year we beat them all 3 times. It just feels like they're going to get the home game this year, but we'll get to that when we get to it. We're a ways away. And Swisher, for real, thank you, Swisher, thank you to all of you guys who are in the chat. It makes this a lot of fun to do this. You know, we're not just talking to ourselves. We get more ideas from you guys, so it makes it a lot of fun. And we'll close with GMAT here, or we're almost gonna close with GMAT. Caden should be fine. We're only 10 games in. He showed well against lesser competition. He just looks tentative against these better teams, and I think needs time to settle in. Yeah, agreed. Caden's going to get better. He's going to get better. I'm not worried about him, and, you know, really thankful for Caleb Foster with the level of his play while Caden is figuring it out. Dan, Duke fan for life. What's going on, man? I don't know if you remember, but I did mention going zone yesterday. I do remember. It was a big call by Shire late in game, and good call by you. ACBC, for anyone that wants to watch the post-game interviews, I think you're going to drop a comment maybe. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check those out. We'll have some shows for you guys next week. Joe M., thank you for the show. Thank you for joining us again, Joe M.
Thank you.
To all of our regulars, Laura, Lawrence Freeman, ACBC. I've definitely forgot a few of you guys. William Salyer, Swisher, Duke Hoops. You guys are awesome. Well, when ECU becomes a blue blood, I might have to jump ship. Okay, we'll get there. But hopefully we'll keep you around for now. Until next time, guys. Peace. Wow. That was a crazy show. That was almost double our peak.
Is that right?